Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Vobes Show. I'm Richard Vobes. It's lovely to have you here on the, the 7th? I think it is the 7th of August, 2000 and whenever we are. Lovely to be here. Thank you very much for coming along and joining me on a Friday night. Is it warm? Apparently it's warm out there. I've been told by a few people that it's warm. Well, there you go. That's what happens in August. It is August. What do you expect? Oh, you didn't expect quite so much heat. All right, fair enough. I will go and turn it all down. Eric, turn the heat down, will you? Hello, sir. Thank you. Sorry about that. We will turn the heat down. Maybe tomorrow, however, we'll probably turn it up. But don't worry, in a week or so's time, we're going to get torrential rain and lots of floodings and all sorts of things will be going amiss. Hey-ho, that is the way it goes. Anyway, lovely to see you on a Friday evening on the 7th of August, 2000 and whatever it is. And thank you very much for popping in. We've got the lovely Julia there. It says, good evening to you. She is now back from Wales, by the way, but she wants to run back to Wales because the southeast is far too many people, and I completely concur. Connor's Dark Corner is here. Hello, Richard and Julia, and all of you who are joining up at the moment. There we've got Kerry Baldwin, hello, Ron Langley, Glastonbury Gabriel, Mike Dixons. We have the Allotment Channel, we have Judith, we have Days of Yore, Nigel Sadler, hello to you, Tim Williams, hello Tim, or shall we call him Timo? And Andy Stacey, Peter Lowry, Andrew Norris, Steve G, amongst others. And now I hope you're all wearing your masks and are sort of 2 meters apart. Which 2 meters? Is it 6 meters? I can't remember how many meters it is. It's quite a few meters anyway. Andrew Murphy is here. Hello. Mark Flinders. Hello to you. It's lovely to see you all. Thank you very much. Now, I want to know what you've been up to today on a very hot day. What do you do? How do you keep cool? Have you got a special remedy for keeping cool? Let me know. Put us something in the message. We'll turn on the phone calls shortly. So don't phone in quite yet, all right? Andrew Murphy, I've said that. Roy Ballinger, good evening. Evening Standard. Now, on tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen, I may risk it. I may break a rule that I don't normally partake in any alcohol. I'm not teetotal as such. I do occasionally have a drink. Cheers, by the way. Harrow, says Michael Angel. Harrow to you. Harrow. Tim Williams, you can call me Al. Do. Oh, yes, you can call me Al. Wasn't that, what's his name in Gartfield? What's his name? Paul Simon and Gartfield, or what his name? Or was it just Paul Simon? Or was it just Gartfield? Whichever one it was. Didn't they do the bridge over troubled water? They should have done the bridge over the River Kwai. That would have been a bit better. I should have been cooking for my channel, says Home with Mindy. But it's been too hot. So instead of cooking, you should be doing de-icing or something. Do you de-icing? Evening Squire, says Dubai Dozen. Good evening to you. Back, left your place, by the way, Dubai Dozen. Hopefully it's still standing. Didn't knock it down with the drone. We may see your place in tonight's show. Little snippet of it. Funnily enough. Ernie Samet is there. Tally-ho, Richard, listening with friends while eating fish and chips. Oh, lovely. How marvellous is that? Hello to your friends. What are your friends called? We'll give them a shout-out on the show. Ron Langley says, it was Paul Simon. That's right, Paul Simon. Who was the other one? The Gartfield bloke. Oh, Garfunkel. That was right. Garfunkel, I don't think it was them. Oh, it was just Paul. Who was the one? Art and Garfunkel, wasn't it? Art and... what? I thought they... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Mike Dixon says, I went swimming in the sea next to our beach hut in Hove. It was lovely. Oh, was it? I bet it was. How lovely is that? Jeff Kellison says, I will happily trade with anyone. I am on my way to Phoenix, Arizona. Blimey, that's hot. Yeah, over here will seem quite timid, I would imagine. The Allotment Channel says, I've been busy indoors trying to keep my computer cool as I edit a video for that popular YouTube channel, The Vobes Show. Never heard of it. Sounds dreadful. A lot of sticky evenings. Kate Evans. Good evening to you, Kate. Lovely to see you. Hello, Richard. How are you? She says, I run my own small animal rescue centre and I got animals to be rehomed in South Wales. Oh, marvellous. Well, they'll be nice and wet over there then. What sort of animals have you just rehoused in Wales? Be fascinating to learn about that. What else have we got here? James Cameron has just retracted a message and Andrew is doing a funny face. Now, on tonight's show, I was risking everything because I've got this glass here. This was sent in by one of my lovely listeners when I did the Vobes Show many, many years ago. And to be honest with you, What a lovely ring it has too. Can't remember what lovely person sent this to me. One of these days I'm going to do that. It's going to smash, isn't it? Ouch. Actually, it hurts the finger, so I'm not going to do that. My birthday was not so long ago. My son, Stanley, my oldest, he bought me some of this. It's called the Wild Beer Millionaire. Never heard of it, but it says here salted caramel, chocolate, milk, stout. It's only a small bottle, but it's 4.7%. So that may push me over the odds. I've only had a bowl full of vegetables today. And the reason I'm having a bowl full of vegetables, ladies and gentlemen, is purely because I'm trying to reduce the amount of meat that I eat. I'm not turning vegetarian, definitely not turning vegetarian as such, but I only want to eat quality meat. I only want to eat quality meat. I only want to eat quality meat. That's the kind of meat that makes my beat. Oh, yeah, quality meat. Down with quality streets. You see, if you have quality meat and quality streets, you've got a chocolate caramel mess. But it could be stout. So I'm thinking of opening that on today's show. I don't know how you feel about that. Could be quite fun. Kate Evans says, I've got rabbits and guinea pigs and chickens. Oh, so there we are. Animal rescue. So is that because people are given these items, these animals, they're not items, obviously, rabbits and guinea pigs and chickens. What is it that the lovely Julia says? Lions and tigers and bears. Oh, my. Is it because you're given those, families are given them rather, and then they don't know what to do with them, or they don't want them, and they go, I don't know what to do with this guinea pig. I thought it was supposed to be a guinea fowl, but no, it's fouled up my life. So there it is. And then they just, what do? Post it through your letterbox. Unwanted animals. Do you have a little box outside, you know, like those bags that people shove through the letterbox that you're supposed to put all the unwanted clothes in and then stick it outside, so they say, we'll be coming round on Tuesday, and then you never see hair nor hide of them. They never turn up, and you've got this bag full of clothes, unwanted clothes, going soiling outside, especially if it's rained and you haven't quite tied the knot. Is that how it works? So instead you just fill it up with unwanted chickens and kittens and mittens and things. James Cameron says, I was on a 5-acre field today and thought of you. It would be the great size to start off with. That's what I thought. 5 acres is probably enough to sink a canal in, build a hay meadow, have a haystack, build a windmill, all those things I want to do. Morton Lewis says, Beer Devil, have the stout. Have the stout. There we go. That's the man who is without this particular stout throughout. Let's see. Did you find a local farm shop around Worthing? Says Mike Stevens. The answer to that is I haven't found one near to me. There is Mile Oak Farm, which I went to the other day and got some lovely potatoes. And the potatoes I got from Mile Oak Farm, I have to say, have been very good. They've lasted a long time. Carrots, however, every time I buy carrots, within a day or two, they've gone all floppy, rubbery carrots, nasty things. Jeff Kellison says, Julia, I drove by the Wizard of Oz Museum in Kansas this morning. The Wizard of Oz Museum. What could they possibly have in there? Do they have the Tin Man, the Straw Man, the Wit Wild? Do they have the house with the witch's shoes underneath? Mike Stevens says, I lived in South Wales for 2 years, but I'm glad to be back in England. Why glad? Weather-wise, or was it the Welsh? Be interested to know what that is. Kate says, I have unwanted animals in, and then we will rehome them to people who want them. So it's a bit like what you know, the second-hand shops, like a jumble sale. It's like car boot sale, isn't it? You get rid of the stuff, you don't want it, you stick it on the trestle table at about 6:30 in the morning, and people creep out from underneath the duvets and go rooting around and buy your unwanted tat. It's sort of the Womble's version of Animal Farm, sort of. So Kerry Baldwin says, I've got some Tesco's carrots in the fringe for a freight, and they are lovely and crisp. Well, if you have them in the fringe for a freight, do you mean in the fridge for a friend? Is that what you mean? Or do you actually mean in the fringe? Is that what, your hair fringe? Do you like the Chinese have those great big sticks that come out of their hair, don't they? They go down to the local forest, and they get some boughs off a tree and stick them in like great big knitting needles and have them coming out of their hair. Is that what you mean? You've got the carrots in your fringe all rolled up like curlers, like that woman in Coronation Street. What was her name? Enid Sharples. Fridge for a fortnight, says Carrot. Oh, in the fridge for a fortnight. Oh, I see. Yes, sorry. You said in the fringe for a freight. I mean, I have no idea what that means. Mike Stevens says, the atmosphere of England far better to me, feel more at home. I was listening to a podcast only the other day and was telling me that how the Welsh, and no disrespect if you're Welsh and you're watching, you're all very nice people as far as I'm concerned, but this is what he said. And he said that the Welsh hate the English for whatever reasons. I think it goes back to, when was it? The Edward the First, when we defeated them, and the what's his name, Glendur, what's his, that was his surname, I can't remember. Not Ivan the Engine. We liked Ivan the Engine, he was a good bloke. I make carrot cake yesterday, was yummy, says At Home with Mindy. Send some over to the Vobes if you're going to make carrot cake. I love carrot cake. Don't just sit there and scoff at yourself. You should be thinking of those poor destitute Vobes that you have heard about, such as myself. Now, I may open this. We've got some videos. We're going to play a video in. Mike Dixon says, a friend of mine went to live in Wales, went to mow a meadow. How does that go? This old man went to mow a meadow, one man and his thingamajig I can't remember how that goes now. One man and his pint of stout went to mow a meadow. A friend of mine went to Wales, but the local population were very unfriendly because the property prices have increased with so many people from England moving there. Oh, I see, yes, the property well, of course, it's happened. You see, the trouble is, the Welsh are only getting from the English what the English have done to themselves. The English have shot themselves in the foot, haven't they? They all want to move out into the countryside. We can't afford to move out into the countryside because what we've done is we've made all the villages and the lovely places in the countryside so damn expensive because we've moved all the people from the countryside into the towns and cities. And because we have ballsed up our agriculture so that farms can operate with just one or two people and have a few contractors in with massive machines, now there's no labourers and no need to employ people in the countryside, which would keep people in the villages in the first place. And so, of course, the villages become empty and they become all tarted up and done as nice coiffured little villages for the very rich who have all these big Mercs and Mercedes and BMWs and Range Rovers and all of that sitting outside on their drive showing you how much money they've spent on their vehicular transport so that they can get in their car and go at 2 miles an hour down to the post office, which is only a 4-minute walk. Owen, that's it, Owen Glendur, that's right, Owen Glendur. Thank you very much, James Sean Cameron, who is in fact Welsh himself, so I hope I haven't offended you by all of that. But my point being simply that because we've outpriced our own villages, people are now moving to Wales and thinking, it's a great idea. Tell you what we'll do, we'll go and live the life of Riley in Wales. So they're buying up these properties. So the Welsh, quite rightly, in my opinion, then think, bloody English coming over here, buying their own stuff. It's all our own fault. It's all our own. Well, it's not the public's fault, of course. It's not the public's fault, although we did this with the concessions. I know I bang on about this, but it's the government and subsidies. Subsidies. Bloody farmers have taken the subsidies because they've maximised to the profit. They thought being a farmer was a business like any other, but it's not. It's a vocation. You're feeding the nation, but not feeding the world. Anyway, enough of this gay banter. Audrey Forbes is here. The post office is now closed. Yes, the post office, that's true. The post box, hopefully, is still operating. Come Walk With Me says, I voted for me to be independent person from the government. It didn't go through. Apparently, one vote isn't enough. Oh, that's no good then. Berks in Mercs. Yes, lots of Mercs in Berks. Prefer a Rover myself. All right, fair enough. James Sean Cameron says, there's always a warm welcome if you've got a cottage in Wales. Is that right? Yeah, I bet. Graham Cass says, beaching put thousands of farms and market gardens out of business. Supermarkets came on tap in 1963. Talking about going on tap, shall we open this and see what happens? We're going to put a video on, but let's open this and then we'll put our first video on. So here, well, wait a minute. Let's see if the webcam is working. Here it is. Hello, look, that's the webcam. I'm looking ever so nervous now as I open beer. There we go. That's the. This is the webcam moment in the show where we show you the beer. We show you the. Oops, a daisy. We show you the glass, and here's just one more of those. That's a beauty, isn't it? Isn't that a beauty? And I'm going to open up the beer. Here goes the beer. Now, I didn't shake it, so it's not doing anything untowards. It's not actually Orville, or whatever that says, so I'm going to turn that round because we don't need any advertising. And I'm going to pour out this lovely stout, and we're going to give that a little taste. Used to do a Friday night is beer night. May end up having to do that again. 1 beer a week. That would be my absolute limit. Look at that. Fits in there perfectly. How about that? Now, in the old days, when I used to do this on the Vobes Show podcast, we would smell the beer and give you an indication of what the beer smell. Yes, it smells like stout, all right. And it's very nice. Very lovely stout, this. Let's have another little snifter there. Yeah. Not always a good idea to stick your nose in it, of course. That is an optional extra. And now, here we go. We come for the taste. Oh, that is nice and very powerful. I can taste the... Actually, the good thing about that is I can't taste the alcohol, but I can feel it. Oh, my God. Now, I haven't had a drink probably for 6 months, maybe longer, 8 months, maybe a year. I can't remember the last time I had a drink. And already I can feel that going into my veins, straight into the veins. Isn't that amazing? That is rather worrying. I don't know if I can get through that. I would have a sip of water to get me through because I don't drink normally. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some other little goodies here on the side, which we're going to explore a little bit later on in the show. But first, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. It is time to have a look at a video. And the first video that we're going to tonight... No, I've done that, haven't I? Yeah, I did that. Why isn't it switched over then? Oh, here we go. The first video, it's going to go to Mike Dixon. Mike Dixon has found something unusual on the banks of the River Ada.
Hello, Vobesters. It's Mike Dixon and Bella. This morning we're out near the River Ada, near Henfield, and we've just found next to the river the seal. Which is quite a rare sight, so I thought I'd just share it with you. It's sitting there next to the river, goes down to the sea at Shoreham, but you can see there it's made a kind of little home on the bank there. So Bella and I are out with a group of bird watchers, looking at the beautiful area of around Henfield, and some areas that I've not been to before. I must say they're absolutely beautiful. And we've seen red kites and loads of other birds. What other birds have we seen this morning? Buzzards.
Willow warblers.
Willow warblers. Yeah, loads. And then the treat is this seal just sitting there on the other side of the bank. Anyway, I thought I'd just share it with you. There's a little bit of wind, so the microphone might be picking that up. But very, very beautiful. That's over towards Wiston. It's this kind of area that's fairly new to me and young Bella. But the wildlife and the scenery is very beautiful. There's a lot of butterflies, a lot of wildflowers. We've seen some fish turning in the river. But the real treat was seeing the seal. Anyway, thought I'd just share it with you, and I'll pass you back to Richard. Take care. Bye.
Am I doing all that talk and you're not hearing a damn thing? Is that how that works? So I'll just repeat myself. Thank you very much, Mike, for that. That's fascinating. Lovely to see the seal there, and also a bit of Chantonbury Ring, which was nice up there on the South Downs, which was rather good. I noticed it got the seal of approval. That was over there. No sound. Okay, I've got the sound going back on now. Sorry about that. There was a moment. See, one sip of that, one sip of the drink, and this is what happens. Let's find out who's calling on the line. Hello there.
Evening, Richard. It's Gabe.
Hello, Gabe. How the devil are?
I'm all right. I just want to give you a quick call. There's no sound coming out of your channel at the moment since the film.
Oh, I know. I realise that now. I've put the voice back and I've started to reiterate everything I've said.
You haven't to repeat yourself.
Yeah, just
okay, that was just it, really. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, no, I did. I've suddenly looked over there and they were all going, the sound of silence, and I suddenly thought, what are they bickering on about? And then, of course, I looked down at the fader and I thought, yes, I didn't put it back up again.
Yes.
Yeah, silly fool.
While I got you on the phone, I just want to say thank you for a lovely day on Monday, and also thank you to all your wonderful subscribers. Thanks to you, and them, my channel has jumped from 44 subscribers. I'm on 150 last time I looked.
150? I don't know.
Yes!
What, coming in and milking my channel? How dare.
Absolutely.
Well done, sir. No, I'm very pleased to have been assistance. That's marvellous. And thank you for coming down and showing me how to fly the drone. We're going to watch a little video that you've put together. We're going to watch that in a second.
That little montage.
Yes, a little montage, which was sort of variant of the day, which was great fun. So thank you for that. And I'm thrilled that your channel has gone well, and we had a lovely day. And thank you for doing the live at 5. Well, we didn't
the live
do it.
At 5.
The
when
live...
you guys come down, bring your drone down here, and we'll go and fly down here and do some actual proper flying.
Yes, do you know, when I put my edit together, I thought, blimey, we actually only just took the thing up above the house and it came down. That was it.
Yes, and we were going to go off from somewhere else, and then suddenly somebody suggested lunch, and it all went out the window.
It all went out the window. And to be fair, the wind did pick up a bit, didn't it?
It was picking up. It was windy, and you have to be careful with the drone.
And we didn't really know where else to go. So, but we could have got that together. But yeah, I hadn't realised really the excitement of flying the drone, of getting it whizzing around the garden and then up and down. And then we went to check to see if it actually, it's like having a film back from Kodak, and you go, yes. Did it actually record it? Has it recorded? So we checked the footage, and then we were just sort of I was so satisfied with that when I came to edit, I went, well, people are going to have a bit of a laugh about this, aren't they? Because it just went up, got to the roof, looked over, and went, and came down again.
Yeah, but it's the first flight. I mean, it's an establishing flight. I mean, do you feel more confident now that you could go out on your own and put that drone up in an empty field and have a fly around?
I would like to do that, but not where there's anybody else to watch me and make me feel like a prune when I get it all wrong. No,
you just need to find a little quiet field up on the downs where there's nobody around.
Yeah, I think that's something I've got to do.
Pop it up.
Yeah, absolutely. On a nice, still morning.
Yes, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
And then you can, after the event, you can say, look, here's one I did earlier, and show us all the video.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I do need to go up on the downs and film some stuff, because to keep walking up on the downs, it would be nice to get that bird's eye view to show and just get some practice in where I'm not likely to hurt anybody. And
when you're on the canal, that's a great place for shooting.
Yeah, well, that's what Fran and Rich do. Rich gets his drone out on floating our boat, and it's great for that, because it really gives you the perspective of where they are. And the great thing that Fran and Rich do in their videos is they don't milk it.
No, you mustn't.
They just got that one shot. Here we are. Look, that's where the canal is. Bang, and then you don't need to go up with the drone again.
Yeah, some friends of theirs, the Foxes Afloat. Have you watched their channel?
I did see that I hadn't watched it, but I saw that they'd crashed theirs on the first flight.
Well, it wasn't the first flight. He's been flying it for quite a while, but he has crashed in his most recent video. He is actually a very good drone videographer.
Well, don't tell me that, because I'm a crap one and I'm bound to lose it. What happened to his?
I don't know. I've not watched it yet. It's only been about this afternoon, but take it from me, Richard. People who've been flying for hundreds of hours crash.
Yes.
It's anything. It could be a freak of nature. It could be like a communications thing with a drone. It could be anything. But as I said to you on the day, the rule number one is if it all starts going Pete Tong, just let go of everything and it will stop.
Yeah. And run.
If you can remember that,
let go and
you're
run.
all right.
That's my motto. Let go and run. Not mine. Eventually the battery will run out and it will just land on somebody's head. That'll be all right, wouldn't it?
Well, that's always an option.
As long as it's not mine. Brilliant.
Anyway, listen, I don't want to take up the whole show. I just rang up to really tell you there's no sound.
Yes, thank you very much. I put the sound up now, I think.
Excellent. Okay, well, we'll talk soon and hook up again sooner.
Absolutely. Take care, Gabriel.
And you, my friend. Good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
There we are. That's the lovely Gabriel from Glastonbury, just ringing up to let me know there's no sound. I better put the fader up. Have I already put the fader? I have already put the fader up. Wonder what the odds are of getting a thunderstorm tonight, says Barry Hughes. Or is it? Yes. I wonder what that is. When will the drone fly, says Lang Ronley. No, that's not right. I've only had one sip of this bloody thing. It's funny because all was well. All he had to do was trek off distance off premises and fetch it. Not sure what that means. Too much drone shots in one video is very samey. That's true. We don't want it very samey. And Audrey says there was a fault in the Fox's drone and the company sent them a replacement free of charge. Yes, because they're going to get all the publicity, I imagine. We don't want Richard dragged through the courts for scalping somebody, says Mark. Same. That would be good, though, Mark, because it wouldn't be very samey. We've got another call coming in. Hello, caller. What do you want? Hello?
Hello, this is Jeff.
Hello, Jeff. How the devil are you?
I had a funny story to tell you. This morning I was at a loading dock and they were loading my truck with salt. And I was sitting there, I was thinking in my mind that I'd try and live my life and offend no one. And all of a sudden my phone beeped, and it's this lovely gent over in England who every morning sends me, about a 10-minute podcast to listen to. And I put it on, and as I'm sitting there in my sandals eating my avocado sandwich, he is railing against people who wear sandals and who eat avocados.
Wasn't me, Jeff. Wasn't me. Definitely wasn't me. I'm hiding under the desk. I can't remember in what reference that was. Like the environmentalist or something. I think I was saying that I'm, want to look after the planet, but not in the way that some of these sandal-wearing, avocado-eating environmentalists do. And lo and behold, one was listening with a big bag of salt in the back.
Yeah, 44,000 pounds of it. No, I don't know if I would consider myself an environmentalist or not, but I thought that was funny how a person could be sitting here minding their own business.
Yes, and are railed against.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Well, please don't take it personal. Unless I mention it again, of course. Now that I know that you drive your truck in sandals eating avocados.
Yes, I just thought I would share that story with you.
Yeah, no, that was hilarious. So, where are you taking your salt to?
I am going to Phoenix.
Oh, yes, you said. Yes, you did. Oh, my God. What do they do with the salt in Phoenix?
I think I read in the paperwork it's the ballpark hot dog plant, I think.
And they use the salt to salt the hot dogs?
Yes.
Good gracious.
And after that, more than likely, they'll probably bounce me over to L.A., and then I'll pick up pasta. And at some point, I'm going to head home because I have some aluminum bar in my garage, and I have a project I'm going to start on.
When you said that aluminum bar, for a moment I had to just work out what that was, because we would say aluminium over here, but it sounded like some radioactive aluminum bar. I am going to take over the world with my sandals and my avocado and my 25,000 tons worth of salt. Yes, you have you do have a very interesting project, of which the viewers and I all may be the beneficiary of.
I think it's going to be pretty amazing. I think that it may be my crowning achievement, I think.
Ah, well, if that's your crowning achievement, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I went down the beach, earlier today with the panning pan, and I was panning for gold down there on the beach, but all I got was some winkles.
There's a spot in Oregon that Ramiboo is probably very familiar with. It's called Ecola Park. Where I was a park ranger, and they have a waterfall. It's right there where they filmed Goonies.
Right.
And people used to pay in there all the time. They used to get a lot of gold.
Wow. Out of the Ecola River.
Creek, Ecola Creek.
A creek, the Ecola. As long as you didn't get any Ecola from it. E. coli, is it? E. coli? Whatever that other disease is. I can't remember now. There's COVID and E. coli and I don't know, some other virulent diseases from other places. Spanish flu. Anyway.
I have your promise. From now on, I can eat my avocado sandwiches and my sandals in the morning and be unmolested.
I will try not to molest you in your sandals whilst you've got avocado down your front. I will do my best. Thank you for sharing that wonderful story.
I hope everyone's well, and I will talk to everyone again.
Oh, bless you. Well, we look forward to it, Jeff. Look after yourself.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. There we go. There's Jeff with his aluminum bar, which we've got to be wary of in case that sets off something rather dramatic. Right, it's time for another sip of this. Things can only go one way. And time to whiz into the what's-her-name yard. And let's see what we've got here. Oh, yes. Let's have a look at Gabriel's footage of my mucking about with the drone that Jeff built. Now, why isn't that playing? What? Wait a minute. Am I not in it? Try that. Where are you? Now it's renamed itself. Here it is.
This is the amazing moment when Richard Vobes is going to take to the air for the first time with his new drone. So I'm set up here. Richard has a camera. Whoops, you can't see me. Richard has a camera over there, and we have some drones over here, and we've got some sky up there. So let's see what happens.
And let me just say, I'm very nervous.
My drone's up there. His drone's about to take off.
Firmware updated. Check. Pre-flight check complete. Check. Insurance paid. Check. Loins firmly girded. check. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is nigh. A couple of simple tips. If you're flying a drone for the first time and it all starts to go a little bit peak-tong, just let go of the sticks and it will hover on the spot. Another golden rule is at first always fly with the drone pointing away, as that way it will go where you point the sticks. Now then, Mr. Obi-Wan Kenobi, show us your moves. A perfectly executed hover there. And a little bit of left hand down a bit. And a little bit of right hand down a bit. And then it's time to go higher. Look at the view, I can see your house from up here. These drones really are steady, and with a gimbal on the front, the video footage is quite impressive. As you can see, my drone is just hovering on the spot. Time for a few more manoeuvres. Perfect 180 there. It's that time. What goes up must come down. Any landing you can walk away from is a good landing. Any landing you can fly the plane again afterwards is a really good landing. So that was a really good landing. Well done, Mr. Kenobi.
Yay, that's better. Sorry about that. I did it again. I forgot to turn the sound up. What a silly nincompoop I am. Anyway, there we are. That was lovely Gabriel and the drone of flight. Flight with all his might. That's what I was trying to do. And yes, I will get it up. Mrs. I will get it up another time. Take it over the downs and do that, which would be fantastic. Thank you so much for putting that together and reminding me of the fear that was going. Did you see my knees knocking together like that? Oh, very frightening. Darth Vobes says Michael Angel. Thanks for that. Stephen Ruff says, I love the titles on Gabe's video. Absolutely. And Kate Evans says, thank you so much for talking about my small animal rescue centre. No problem at all. If you've got a small animal rescue centre and you want us to talk about it, we will talk about it. That's what we do on this show. Sounds like a swarm of bees, says Audrey Forbes. Yes, could well be. And Ben Reeves says, your young Padorian did well for his first flight, Jedi Master Gabriel. Padawan. I guess that's a Star Wars reference, is it? So there we go. Okay, so that's that. Marvellous. We've got another couple of videos coming up shortly, ladies and gentlemen. But the very lovely gentleman whose house let me stay there, David Chamberlain, also sent some fascinating items for my birthday to indulge in. These is a lovely little new English teas, it says on the back here. English tea collection. Look at this. It says on the back, careful with the tins, for they are worth a fortune. Do not drop on a desk. Right. Well, these are like, we've got buses here. Hang on, let's put the... No, that's not what I meant to do. Thank you. Let's have a look. Where are we? Show. That one. There we go. Bink. We've got a London double-decker bus. Do you remember that? Get on board, get on board. Why won't you focus on the double-decker buses? We have telephone box here. But what are in these? And this looks like another double-decker bus. That's it, a very small double-decker bus. A post box. Look at that. Her Majesty's post box. Oh, that's suddenly decided to focus now. There we go. There's the focused version. Oh no, it's not going to. It just keeps focusing on me. And we have Big Ben, or this is more like Stout Ben. Talking of Stout, I think it's time for another slurp of the Stout. The Stout went up his snout. It was not bad. It made him pout. Anyway, so what are in these? I have no idea. A tea, I think. Tea, ladies and gentlemen. Tea. So it's a very lovely gift, this. Very lovely gift. Now, let's have a look. I'd open up one of these, see if I can open up one of these. I don't know whether it's loose tea or bags of tea. We still got this. I think this was from the lovely Linda Kane, I believe. The Vobes tea. This is for the lovely Julia, and actually, there's only a few left. We've been enjoying those. They were very nice. Let's see if we can get into one. I can't get into this. It's got that sellotape malarkey all over it. So what I thought I would do, if I can, what I was going to. This is a live show, ladies and gentlemen, but unfortunately, the elephant has just done a great big poo. That's what happens in live shows. If you remember your Blue Peter, was it a poo or a wee? I can't remember what it did. This is so David. You very kindly sent this in. I don't have a pair of scissors in the studio, or a sharp knife, or anything. So there we are. That's the tea ruined. I just have to keep drinking the tea. Hang on, we'll get there. There must be somewhere here a way in. Because I'm short-sighted, I can't see without holding things right close up to my eyeball. Here we are. Look. Keep talking, keep talking. They won't notice anything's gone wrong if you keep talking. God, blimey. Who put this on? Was this done by midgets or something? There we go. Ah. Right, we're there, ladies and gentlemen. There's so much more exciting when you can actually get to the thing that you're trying to do. Oh, it's loose tea. Or is it snuff? Is it snuff? It's actually loose tea, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Look at that. Show it up to the light. I would if I could find a light. There we are, look. Tightly packed loose tea. So, we do have a teapot here that came in from the lovely Lisa Fox. I got sellotape next to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a teaspoonful of this, a couple of teaspoonfuls of that, shove it in there, and then go and put the kettle on. And then we can have a nice cup of tea. You could do the same. Linda Kane says, hello, Richard, my tomatoes are beginning to ripen. Oh, lovely. That's very nice. Do send some over. I'd be lovely to try them out. Robert Croser says, seen it, getting on for 100 times now. Not quite sure what he's on about. Henry's Adventures says, both should say on the bottom what tea it is, says Beach Writer. Let's have a look. How did you know that? How did you know? The telephone box, English tea, MT05. British English tea, product of United Kingdom. Pure Ceylon teas packed in Sri Lanka. This one is English breakfast tea. Wait a minute, it's the same as that one, isn't it? English breakfast tea. What is this one? New English tea, Spitfire Close, Coventry Business Centre, best before ingredient, London tea. What's Big Ben then? Big Ben English breakfast tea. It's all the bloody same. Post box English afternoon tea. What difference does that make? And this is English afternoon tea, Big Bus and Big Ben. Oh, there we go. I'm sure it's all very nice, and we're going to give it a try. Love Ceylon Dion. Is she the one that committed suicide, Ceylon Dion, or was it? Who was the other one? Who was the one who sang about the Titanic, who went down and slit her wrists or something? An accidental overdose. One of them did, didn't she? I can't remember. Joshua T, please, Jeff. Anyway, afternoon tea is a bit lighter. Well, we don't want that then. We want a little bit of English break. That's what we want. Thank you so much. These are really great. I love these. Lovely. And I like the boxes because you could put all sorts of nefarious stuff in there. So I better go and light the fire and boil the kettle. And then we'll have a look at the biscuits that go with it. It's all very exciting on this Vobes show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's all very exciting. So in the meantime, we'll go back to the phones immediately after the next video. And it's time for, let me think. We've done Gabriel, we've done Mike, we've got two. I'm just trying to work out who was the longest. I think it's time for Tim Williams, or Timo, as he likes to be called, on the Brecon Beacons. This will take your breath away. Somewhere I'd love to go. I have been to the Brecon Beacons, but I would love to go again and do some of the walks that he did. Absolutely stunning. Feast your eyes on this. What about that, ladies and gentlemen? What about that? That was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Tim, for sharing that. Wonderful walking country. And am I right in thinking you did a 20-mile hike in that area? That is just outrageous, but very, very impressive too. Don't forget, you can give us a call on 0793 474 6790. That is the number to call. Ceylon used to speak only French, then learned English when she became a star in America. Amazing lady and voice. Is that the one, the Ceylon Dion? Which is the one? I can't remember which one you said now. Anyway, that was very beautiful. Linda Kane says she looks like a shadow of her former self and has lost so much weight. I think her voice has suffered for it. Oh, so it can't be her that committed suicide then. Who was the one who didn't commit suicide but just had an overdose? There was another one. I'm just looking now because I get confused. Whichever one it was, nobody seems to know, so that's okay, not to worry. It wasn't Jeff Kellison. No, he's still alive and very much with us. Thanks, Jeff. For some reason, who doesn't drink or agree with sugar? I don't have sugar. Blah blah blah. Lovely scenery. Oh, Whitney Houston. That's right, Whitney Houston. She was the one. Thank you very much. Committed suicide. Houston, we have a problem. Was she in the bath when she did it? Something like that. Anyway, let's not dwell on that. went back. Ben Reef says, want to go back to the Brecon Museum. I nearly misread that and thought it was the Broken Museum. They have a model of my grandfather's ship from World War II, HMS Brecon. You better ask them to have it back. James Sean Cameron is typing in capitals, which is good. Yes, Ceylon, Titanic singer, she's alive. She didn't go down with the ship then. Marilyn Monroe, says Mike Stevens. Whitney Houston was the one I was thinking of. Thank you, Ed Wolf. And Elaine Whitlock says Amy Winehouse. That's another one. The bath that did it. Yes. Anyway, what's happened whilst you've been away? I know you want to... Everyone, the phone lines are so hot at the moment. People are desperately getting through, trying to get through, but we're just holding them back. What's the switchboard doing over there, Eric? It'll melt down. They always say that, don't they? Switchboard is in meltdown. That means nobody's rung, ladies and gentlemen. Usually means that nobody's rung. Anyway, I have put some of the morning tea in here. I put a little drop of milk in here. I've got the webcam over there. Bing. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour out a bit of tea. I'm just nudging my eyeball off camera so that it doesn't look too awful when I go back to it. There it is. Oh, it does look awful. If there's one thing I can't bear looking at myself is looking at this side of me. Because when you've lost an eye and you've got an artificial thing, you just see it all the time. It's a hideous thing. But there we are. Vanity gets the better of you, doesn't it? So we're going to pour out this tea. Let's have a look on the webcam view, see what this looks like. It looks a little bit pale, but that's okay. Maybe could have left it in there a bit longer and perhaps not put quite so much milk in. Let's... there we are. Look, that's nice, isn't it? It's could be a bit stronger. I should have actually stirred the tea, but let's not let that worry you. We have a moment of Murphy coming up, ladies and gentlemen, which we're very excited about, and that will be fairly soon. But before all that, I want to introduce you to some giants. These are the biscuits, which according here, the Giant Biscuit Lovers Selection tin. 2 jammy sandwich biscuits, 2 cookies and creams, 2 custard cream biscuits, and 2 bourbon biscuits, it says on the back there. And we open it up like thus. Is that your head, Eric? You shouldn't have... I thought you were over there. Don't go wandering around under the table like that. So, what am I looking for now? Oh, yes, let's get the webcam in here. Here we go, look. Feast your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. These are the biscuits that you get in size, but they are giants because... What shall we have? Shall we have a Jammy Dodger? Look at the size of the Jammy Dodger. Look at the size of that. Is there only one Jammy Dodger? Oh, no, there's another one. And this is a... That is a custard cream. Look at that. Against my head gives you some indication. So, I'm going to open this up. Thanks very much, David, for sending these in. Look at that. Isn't that outrageous? That is, there's more sugar on that than that's enough to kill a midget, that is. Enough to kill a little pikey. I don't think you're supposed to say that anymore, are you? But anyway, I've said it. That's the size that wagon wheels used to be before they became made of cardboard with a little bit of white sauce that they try to pretend, some chemical, they try to pretend now is marshmallow. There's no marshmallow in a wagon wheel anymore. They're hideous things. They taste of cardboard and they're disgusting. Yet when I was a kid and they were actually made with proper marshmallow, they were lovely. Wow, look at the size of them, says Wrong Lang. I mean, this you could put, if you have a tin of this and your car breaks down because the wheel gets a bit dented, you could just stick this on. You'll be fine. Absolutely. Will it fit in the mug? That is a good point. Actually, it's the same circumference. Look at this. It's the same circumference. How do I do this? Hang on a minute. Here it is the... look. There's the cup. Get this straight. And that is the thing. Look at that. It's the same circumference as the tea. That shut him up, didn't it? Well, it tastes pretty much the same, actually. It's like a never-ending biscuit. That's delicious. My God, though. How much sugar is in that? Incidentally, I've got a book. I'll go and get this book in a minute. I've got a book I want to tell you about. Just as I devour that. Time for a cup of tea. By the way, you're welcome to give us a call, 0793474746790. And the tea's nice actually, the tea's delicious. How about that? That's lovely. Thank you so much, David. That's very kind of you. Never seen those biscuits before, says Sean James Cameron. These are very special ones. Look, and I've been eating around the best bit. The best bit is is obviously the jammy dodger in the middle. Pop those into a cup of tea, and there'll be no tea left. No, that's very true. Wow, look at the size of them, says Ron Langley. What a whopper, says Kerry Baldwin. Dark Corner says Little People. Oh, yes, Little People. What about the Little People? Is that Little Women? That's a famous book. Who was the author of Little Women? Go on. Who knows that? Was it Jean somebody or other, wasn't it? Jean, what was her name? The author of Little Women. I think it was a Jean so-and-so. Double-barreled, wasn't it? Julia says, I've never liked Wagon Wheels, but I like Monmouth. Right. You won't sleep tonight after that. No, probably won't. Is it a book? Is there a book in it? No. Wagon Wheels have definitely got smaller and don't taste as good, says the lovely Judith. Judith says that. We always used to buy them for the school tuck shop. Yes, and now they taste disgusting. Wait for the sugar rush. Says Turbo Stream. Yeah, waiting for that. You'll be up in the night drinking tea this late. Drinking tea this late? No, I love drinking tea. A cup of tea before you go to bed sends me off like nobody's else. Louisa May Alcott. Thank you. That was thanks to Google for that, Sean. I know you. You've got form, as they say. But it was not double barrel, but three names. I knew it was three names. I got that bit right. Although I thought it was Jean. Do you know what I was thinking? What's the name? The something story of Miss Jean Brodie. Who wrote that? The something of Miss Jean Brodie. The Secret Life of Miss Jean Brodie. That's what I was thinking of, Jean Brodie. That suddenly comes back. Louise M. Alcott, there we go. Louise May Apricot says days of... Anyway, there we are. Marvellous. Right, I think it's time for our last video. Moment of Murphy, we said, and then I'm going to go and show you a book. Amazon Prime. I'll have to have a cup of tea for bed. That's my nighttime routine. Yes, absolutely, Mark. I'm with you there. The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie, which if you get it on Amazon Prime, you get it for free. The Prime. Muriel Spark did that one, Miss Brodie. Thank you very much. The Prime of... Yeah, you're all going... We've had a bit of a classical literature break thing there, referencing classical literary books. And nobody mentioned Lady Chatterley's Lover, did they? By not the Lawrence of Arabia, but the other one. Was it D.H. Lawrence? Or who was the other one? D.H. Lawrence and the other Lawrence. There's enough Lawrences to go round with. Anyway, enough of that. We are into a moment of Murphy, ladies and gentlemen. A moment of young Murph. Where are you today, Murphy?
Hi everyone, welcome back to another Moment of Murphy with me, Andrew Murphy. Today it is Sunday the 2nd of August 2020, and on my way round up the deviation line to Knoll Village and back, I've come across two fields, one that way and one that way, full of lovely, bright, ever so looking stunning sunflowers. Let's take a little quick look at them. Just look at that, all of the field as far as the eye can see, all of it beautiful, full of sunflowers, all in the shadow, the M27 motorway, which you can see just behind the field. enjoyed this little short but sweet version of A Moment of Murphy, I would just like to thank you for your company, and until next time, bye for now.
So there we are, Moment of Murphy, and what a splendid moment it was. Thank you so much, Andy, for sending that in. Always lovely to see your videos. Marvellous. So there we go, and we're looking forward to the next one, I should add, as well. So far, yes, T.E. Lawrence, Peter O'Toole, that's right, T.E. Lawrence and D.H. Thanks for that. Marvellous. Lady Chatterley's Lover is a novel by English author D.H. Lawrence, says, yes, you've just copied that again. Yes, D.H., T.E. T.E. Lawrence was the Lawrence of Arabia, and I've got a book by him. Well, a book of him. Interesting bloke he was. No sound, says Elaine Whitlock. What do you mean no sound? Of course there's sound. I can see the sound going out. Cheeky. Now, Morrisons sell the giant biscuits, I've been told, says Linda Cadman. Ah, right. Yeah, love the fields and flowers. So we're going to get on to the essence of this biscuit in a second. I'm still drinking the tea and the occasional. I'm really not rushing this because I'm enjoying it. Do you have a cup of tea first thing in the morning? No, I have a cup of coffee first thing in the morning, funnily enough. About 6 o'clock when I'm sorting out my, not the YouTube one because that's already been timed, but it's the Facebook one. I'm sorting that out. Another thing I got for my birthday was this, the Time Wasters Letters by Robin Cooper. Fantastic, amusing book. One of those books that, you know, you keep by the little boys' room so that you can, of course, have a little read whilst you're trying to get the bowels moving. And this sort of stuff does. So I just thought I'd read a couple of these letters out to you. This is something I wish I had done. I wish I had thought of this. I think it's such a brilliant idea. So this is a letter to the Windrush Mill Garden Catalogue, 1999, 6th of April. He says, Dear Sir and Madam, I was recently sent a copy of your Quality Garden Catalogue, Spring 99, and I'd like to congratulate you on such a fine brochure. I have worked as a landscape gardener for 15 years and have never seen such a fine array of items to perk up the garden. Well done. You may be interested to know that I design garden-related products. I have an entire range of scarecrows made entirely from beef. They are based on Roman themes, such as the storming of Thebes and Brutus Avenged. I wonder if you would be interested in looking at the designs to put in your new catalogue. I look forward to your reply, and once again, bravo. Best wishes, Robin Cooper. Well, you would think that would probably not get a reply, but apparently it did. So he gets a reply from Emma Hutt, and it says, Dear Robin, my name is Emma Hutt, and I am Johnny Visor's assistant at Windrush Mill. He's asked me to write to you to thank you for your letter and compliments. We would be very interested to see the scarecrows made of beef. Please send details of the products to the above address, including any pictures and the cost prices. I look forward to hearing from you. So he writes again. He says, Dear Emma, thanks very much for your letter on the 15th of April. I was delighted that you wrote back to me on behalf of Johnny Visor. As requested, I am enclosing copies of my latest designs for my scarecrows based on Roman themes. They can currently be seen in my front garden, should you care to visit. I was a bit confused when you mentioned that my designs were made of beef. I can only assume I made a spelling mistake on the machine. It should, of course, read Beal. Thank you for your interest. Each model is priced at £21.99. I look forward to hearing what you think of my designs and would like to once again congratulate you on your magnificent brochure. Yours sincerely, Robin Cooper. And this is the designs that he sent in. Right? I haven't got time to actually study those in detail. These very odd designs. So he then gets another letter in return from the Windrush Mill Equality Garden Catalogue, it says on here, says, Dear Robin, thank you for your letter and designs for the Beale scarecrows. We are at present looking at the spring-summer range, but after long consideration, we feel this product is not suitable on this occasion. Thank you for taking the time to send us the details of your products, and please bear us in mind with any new products. Yours sincerely, Emma Hutt. And so he then sends another letter. It goes, how long does this go? It goes on for ages. So he says on this one, many thanks. He writes back to her and says, many thanks for the letter. I was disappointed that you've decided not to go with my scarecrows, but not as disappointed as they will be when I tell them. You kindly mentioned that I should bear you in mind for any new products I have. Well, I have recently been working on a new design, which I refer to as the torpendulator, drawings enclosed. Like my scarecrows, the torpendulator is designed to ward off garden birds and gulls. It was once based on Roman themes, and you'll notice that it harkens back to the days of Cassius, Dementocles, and Julius of Fane. The principle of the torpendulator is quite simple. The product sits on the flower bed or the vegetable patch, held down with rope. The opening is filled with a syrup based on my own recipe, mixture of camphor, petrol, iodine and cream, and left to stand there for 24 hours. After this period, birds become naturally attracted to the odour and fly to investigate. The torpendulator works in the same way as the Venus flytrap. Birds, which rest on the lip of the device, trigger a set of springs inside, causing the mouth of the product to clamp shut on the bird. The bird then is totally immersed in the syrup, which acts much like any quick-setting glue. Within 10 to 15 minutes, the bird is completely immobilised and can be disposed of, bag supplied. I'm sure the torpendulator is something that would fit nicely into your excellent garden catalogue, and feel confident it could really catch on. I hope you enjoy my designs, and I look forward to hearing to you. Very best wishes, Robin Cooper. And he includes the whole design of the thing, which obviously we haven't got time to look. I have to buy the book to see that. He gets a reply to this from the Windrush Mill Quality Garden Catalogue that says, Dear Robin, thank you for your letter and diagram. We regard ourselves as bird-friendly and feel that this product is particularly cruel to birds and thus in no way is suitable and to be considered for selection. With regards, Emma Hutt. And then there's a stamp on it saying, end of correspondence, as if in no uncertain terms. So a fabulously funny book of wasting people's time. And I have heard Robin Cooper interviewed on the radio about his work, and there's a second book out as well. It is sad. Must be a joke. And yes, Beach Writer, it is a joke. It is a joke. It is a humorous joke. It's wasting people's time. That was the whole point. He writes to companies. So clearly what had happened was he was given he unsolicited, he probably got their brochure in the post. He didn't ask for it. And this is what happens in the UK. We call it spam mail, and it arrives, it's unwanted mail. And so instead of just slinging it in the bin, he wrote back to them and said, oh, thank you so much. I mean, it's sarcasm. And said, thank you so much for your amazing design. It's so marvellous. Oh, by the way, I've got my own designs. And they picked up the bait and said, well, what have you got? Well, I've got scarecrows made out of beef. And when they said, what, made out of beef? He said, no, it must be a spelling mistake. What I meant to say was made out of Beale, which, of course, there's no such thing. And so they were still intrigued, but he sent line pictures, which are complete tosh. And they clearly said, oh, well, this man's an idiot. So they just sent, thanks ever so much. But he followed it up to waste their time some more by this ridiculous bird catcher, which of course is a joke and not real, even though he drew some stuff. So it's, yes. So, and then they said, look, this is enough, in their polite way. So that's the basis of the book. Yes. So it was a joke. Anyway, That wasn't the book. I happened to see that when I came into the studio. That wasn't the book that I'd gone to go and get. This was the book that I wanted to show you. Pure, White and Deadly, How Sugar is Killing Us and What We Can Do to Stop It. This came out, I believe, in the 70s. It's a classic book. It talks about refined and unrefined sugar. I haven't read it all yet. I've scoured through it. How to eat more calories without eating real food. Sugar calories make you thin, they say. Words mean what you want them to mean. Basically, the message of this is that sugar is a terrible thing, but particularly refined sugar. And things like this, and things a bit like this, and the fizzy drinks, and the chocolate bars, and all of those things are full of sugar. And you shouldn't eat them. Do as I say and not as I do. So I want to read that. I've read... Sorry about talking with my mouth full. And actually, there's a lot of sugar in that. There's a lot of sugar in that. It's probably too sugary. I can only eat... Now, I find I can't eat sugary things. That may be an age thing. I know that as my parents grew up, they would have less and less sugar. And as a young person, you probably can burn it all up. But, of course, it's a horrible thing, sugar. And it's very bad for you. It says on the back here, I'll just read this back... In 1972, when British scientist John Yudkin first proved that sugar was bad for our health, he was ignored by the majority of the medical profession and dismissed by the food industry. We should have heeded his warning. Today, 1 in 4 adults in the UK are overweight. There is an epidemic of obese 6-month-year-olds around the globe. Sugar consumption has tripled since the Second World War. Using everyday language and a range of scientific evidence, Professor Yudkin explores the ins and outs of sugar from the different types. Is brown sugar really any better than white? To how it is hidden inside our everyday foods and how it's damaging our health. Brought up to date by childhood obesity expert Dr. Robert Lustig, MD, Yudkin's classic expose on the hidden dangers of sugar is essential reading for anyone interested in their health, the health of their children, and the health of modern society. And I couldn't help, when I just read the first chapter, and it talks about parents feeding their kids fizzy drinks and not knowing the danger that they're doing. And they're doing it because the kids are nagging them, and the kids want these fizzy drinks, and basically you're poisoning them. You're just feeding them these fizzy drinks, and you're giving them down the line some terrible things. So if you have a child and you feed it fizzy drinks or anything, you be careful. Be careful. It's entirely up to you, of course. I'm not preaching and telling you what to do. I'm just bringing these things to your attention. Fascinating first chapter, and I'm looking forward to reading more of that, because I'm naturally... I read a book when I was 18. I've read many books, of course, before that and after that, but it was a grown-up book. And it was saying, as an incidental thing, it was one of these self-help books, actually, that I was reading. I was into a lot of self-help books. What help they've done me, I don't know. And I was reading this, and it was telling me how dreadful sugar was in that. And that must have been in the 70s, so that must have been about this time when this came out. It would have been 78, something like that, really, I guess. Anyway, I was late teens, mid to late teens, and I read that, and I gave up sugar in my tea, because I used to have sugar in tea. Gave up sugar in tea, and yes, I used to have a few chocolate bars and things like that, but I really reduced the sugar intake. And it's amazing there's enough sugar in other things without having to cram it into your mouth. But I got that because it was referenced in a book that I've just finished by Colin Trudge called So Shall We Reap, which talks about the farmers and the subsidies and what's happened to the food and the minerals and all of that I'm banging on about at the moment, which I'm trying to sort of get to the bottom of. Anyway, I thought I'd draw that attention to you. That is hilarious. Definitely well worth getting that if you want a good laugh. I enjoyed that. The tea was fantastic. This I'm very wary about. It's alcohol, it's got sugar in, and I've only had a little bit. I probably won't do the beer every Friday. I'm not a great beer drinker. And I want to be able to get up early in the morning, so I probably will not drink the rest of that. It's nice. Thank you, Stanley, though, for getting it to me. I've had a little taste of it, but that's enough. I can do without it all. Graham Cass says the cost of anything white is damaging the environment. Well, let's not get confused with the other things that we're being told about white stuff, because that's all a load of old rubbish. But certainly white flour is not as good as you may think. And white sugar. Sugar and diabetes have been linked to dementia this week, says Sean. That doesn't surprise me. That does not surprise me. Those self-help books help you to read. Yeah, that's true. Been cutting out fizzy drinks. That's why I'm drinking water in most of my drinks. Good for you. Good for you. Beachwriter says you could write a funny, humorous book. I imagine you have many funny stories from your walks and past career experiences performing for people. Yeah, I that's probably true, actually. Don't get me started on this current tosh from Boris going on about obesity. Just tax the sugar companies. Kerry Baldwin, love to have a ding-dong with you on the phone. Give us a call and tell us what you think about the current tosh from Boris. Mike Stevens says, except snow. Yes, better to have white snow than yellow snow. Bread is full of sugar. Well, not the bread I make. It does have some sugar in, but it's not full of sugar. Certainly mine, there's only a small amount of sugar over a loaf. It's quite a small amount, actually. But I imagine shop-bought stuff may well be different. Nigel Sandler says, watch the sugar film. You can pay per view on YouTube if you want to learn stuff about sugar. Don't need to pay for it. I've got a book. I bought this second hand and it was only about £1. So there you go. Much rather read than watch a film, because the thing about reading and watching a film can frame, I mean, I know I make films, a film can frame things in such a way, and it's linear, and so it sort of goes over you, and you end up with a general idea, but not all the facts at your fingertips. With a book, although they can frame these things in this way, you can go back and reread. It's also in a lot more detail, and you can, as you read, check it out. I would prefer to learn from a book than watch a film, because a film is going in real time. If you sat and read something like this, that might take you 12 hours, whereas a film, whatever the film is, might be an hour and a half. And that's my own personal opinion. Sugar, one of my favourite topics. Always makes me laugh when people say, but it's natural sugar, as if their coffee sugar is made in a test tube. Yes, there you go. All carbs in food convert to sugar in our body, plus each gram of sugar equals to 2 teaspoons of sugar. It helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. And is the carbs not just sugar? Grains are carbs, so bread is effectively sugar when we digest it. I see what you mean. If it wasn't for sugar, I'd be skinny. I'm only eating 800 calories a day and feeling much better for it. Well, it's. I'm not talking about diets and going on diets and all of that. There's a whole new story. Not a new story. That's a whole different story, isn't it? About not eating. If you want to diet and lose weight, you've got to eat less, particularly less calories, and you've got to move and exercise a bit more and eat proper food. But of course, if you know where your food's coming from in the first place, so you get the right nutrients, there's no point dieting and eating food if it comes from a supermarket and they've bought their food in and it's sat on a shelf and it's depleted of all nutrients and minerals in it. There's no point eating that sort of food, because that's not going to help you. You might actually lose weight, but you're going to damage your health. So you've got to be careful on these things. All I'm saying is this is about sugar, and this is what reminded me. And I've just had a whole load of sugar from that, and a bit of sugar from this, and I'm going to drink tons of water and have another cup of tea before I go to bed. But there we are. That's about it, I think. Nobody wanted to call in, so we'll call it quits. Did you try a stick of that rhubarb? No, I was told that I'd have to wait till next year for the rhubarb. So I'm waiting till next year when my hollyhocks come up too. People need to walk more at the very least. Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to persuade people to do with my channel. Homemade bread is the very best. Pure, real, us, we do it. Us, we do need some carbs. Yes, of course, we do need some carbs. That's right. And actually, reading Colin Trudge, he tells you about carbs and how potatoes are actually good for you. And I know that the other day Nigel Sadler was saying that potatoes were dreadful. And I think I made the quip that I was more likely to take the information from Colin Trudge, having read one of his books all the way through, and I've got a number of his other books, and he does seem to know exactly what he's talking about. And he does mention that potatoes are particularly good. Obviously, don't overeat them, and it depends what you cook them in, and all those things. We do have a phone call. Here we go. Let's find out who that's from. Hello, caller. How are you?
Hello, everyone. It's Ed Loud.
Ed Loud. How are you, Ed?
Oh,
Round
I'm
and
very
squishy.
Yeah, round and squidgy and very sad. It looks like I've missed a good live show. So
Oh,
I'm
it was
gonna go back and watch it when it finishes.
Oh, yeah, we've been drinking beer, we've been drinking tea, we've been eating sugary biscuits, we've been telling ourselves off with sugar, we've had time-wasting letters to the local garden catalogue company.
Oh, shut up. You don't rub it in like oil of oolay.
No, I'm so soggy. Denon. Anyway, so what can I do for you, young Ed?
Well, just all this talk about sugar and food, and I always see people making remarks about this is bad for you and that's bad for you, and well, the whole sugar thing is such a complex thing. There's so many different types of sugar, and at the end of the day, they're all sugar, and they all get into your blood. And yes, all the carbs that you eat get converted into sugar and get into your blood. But just to remind people that if you eat your actual sugary things, your sweets or a teaspoon of sugar, that's going to give you an energy boost for a very short time, a massive spike in your blood sugars. If you eat your porridge in the morning, that's going to be released over hours and hours and hours and give you a steady stream of sugar to your blood. So sugar itself isn't always the enemy. It's the sugar that's added into our diets. And
yes.
Before anyone makes any drastic dietary changes or goes on any weird diet, do speak to a professional, preferably a doctor, I would say, and do your own research, because there's lots of people who come up with these things like this is bad for you, that's bad for you. But really, you need a bit of everything. And, we all know the basics. We should be avoiding sweets and things like that. But when it gets on to avoiding bread, avoiding potatoes, avoiding pasta, avoiding grains are very important.
Yes, I would totally agree with you. And the thing that gets me is those things that are, let's say, in inverted commas, naturally grown, like grain, like fruit, that we as a species have been eating for tens of thousands of years. And we've survived on the back of that. That I can't see that clearly, as a biological creature, we've learnt to eat the things that are useful for us.
Yeah.
But as we've gone into an industrialized world, we've started to try and shortcut these things, and we've found we like the taste of sugar, and so we've started to refine things.
Yeah,
and make it
add it to things.
Yeah, and so that, as you say, when you eat a sugary or drink a sugary drink or eat a biscuit or something like that, you're getting it injected into the blood at such a rapidity, if that's the right word, such a rapid pace that that's not a natural process. That if you had it from an apple or a beetroot or whatever.
Yes, I see this in all walks of life, and I've seen so many healthy people brought to their knees, metaphorically speaking, by what are in effect low-carb diets. And you get away with it when you're young, but when you get to about my age, about 30 onwards, then you will start to notice the effects of it. And
Yes.
I used to, you'll know, but all the listeners might not know, I used to work with weightlifters. I used to weightlift myself. I used to help a lot of other weightlifters with stuff like that. And I used to see particularly bodybuilders, not so much weightlifters. They go onto this low carb kind of stuff, and they take it too far, and they end up seriously ill. And I do mean seriously ill, you know, the sort of stuff you might never recover from sometimes. And I just want to beg and plead with anyone out there thinking of going on a low carb diet, just to do a bit of research. And if you're really not sure, doctors are there for a reason. So go and speak to a doctor, and they'll probably give you a very common sense approach. Just slightly reduce your calories, slightly increase your diet, your exercise, and you'll get there in the end. Just beware of cutting out food groups, basically, because it's extremely dangerous. And,
yes, I mean, if you unless you've spoken to somebody who knows exactly what they're talking about, I mean, the most obvious thing is just cut out chocolates and sweets and fizzy drink, all of those man-made stuff, and just stick to basic food.
Yeah, you cut them out. The things that come in shiny packets, and
you'll soon
and
notice a
90%
difference.
Sugar, you'll soon notice the difference. And I don't want to tell anyone to take my advice. Go out there and get lots of people's advice. Read lots of opinions, and always speak to someone with a few grey hairs, and someone in the medical profession, preferably a doctor. And they will anyone who knows their stuff will give you the same advice. Don't cut out any food group unless a doctor tells you to. Because
I don't think anybody was. I don't think anybody's going. On the verge of a diet out there.
I don't want to keep everyone all night. I just wanted to round what I heard off, and just don't cut out porridge, don't cut out bread, don't cut out potatoes.
I don't think that was that's not the suggestion. That's not been the suggestion.
No, I didn't hear it from you. It's just stuff that I keep seeing, little comments, and of course I don't get the full context of them. But
right.
It's just something very close to my heart. I've seen a lot of people ruining themselves by going down that road. I saw 15-year-olds who wouldn't eat sandwiches and wouldn't eat porridge and wouldn't eat rice, and it gets ridiculous.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's common. The thing that we seem to be running out of is common sense, but that is common sense. As Jackie Trainer says, there, cut out processed foods and sweets and crisps, and fizzy drinks, and you're going to see a massive improvement if you just did that. If you just did that and carried on with whatever else you eat. You'd see such a big improvement. And exercise, and do a little bit.
I think it was a comment about every carb you eat gets turned into sugar in your blood, which is true.
Right.
But people do often take that the wrong way,
yes.
And we live in a soundbite world where we try and sum up the world in 140 characters. And I'm sure 99% of people out there will have enough common sense to know what I mean.
Yeah, you made it very strongly, Ed.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to go anyway, and I'm going to watch the show back, so thanks a lot.
My pleasure. Well, we're off anyway, so thank you so much for rounding it up and giving us your sound advice.
Cheers, everyone. Bye. Good night.
You take care, Ed. Bye-bye. So there we are. That's lovely Ed Loud giving us some sound advice. And I just to reiterate, I didn't think anyone was saying they're suddenly going to go on the strength of the Vobes show. For goodness sake, we don't have any influence on anybody. Our influence couldn't actually affect a fly, which is just as well, really, because half the time I don't know what I'm talking about. But if it elicits a conversation, if it gets people thinking, then that is the beginning of something, isn't it? That's all I aim to do. You can't trust whatever I'm waffling about. But anyway, it's an interesting book and interesting stuff. Thank you so much for the calls. Thank you for your videos. Oh, we have another call. We'll quickly take that. We're trying to get off the air. But hello to the caller calling in.
Just a quick one.
Hello,
about
Sean.
this food situation.
Yes.
Do you think that the government should get involved?
Do I?
Yeah.
In what way? Well, when it depends what you mean by get involved.
In order to I tried to change my diet for quite a few years, but kept falling back on the it's too expensive, I can't afford to do it, so I've just gone buy the cheap stuff.
You see, that's an argument I don't go along with.
No,
that it's too expensive.
As soon as I made the change, I then discovered that things may be slightly more expensive, but they are better for the body. So therefore, you don't eat as much, because if I eat a bar of chocolate, say, then the rest of the day I discover that I just snack on unhealthy food.
Yes. Well, that's the. I mean, so to answer your question, I don't think the government should get involved. I don't believe in a nanny state. I do believe in market forces. If everybody wants to do that, I also think that everybody should have their own right to do whatever they damn well please. So I can come on here and say, I've read this book. Not that I have read it, but I've read the first chapter. But I can come on and say, I've read this book and this is my opinion. I think it's an awful, horrible thing and people shouldn't do it. But it's just my opinion. Nobody has to listen to me. Nobody has to believe me. No one has to take anything I say in any way. I'm not preaching at all. So that's just my opinion, and I'm sharing it because it's my show. I can have an opinion, and you can have an opinion, so I don't think that the government should get involved. And if people get fat and overweight, I have to say that it is their fault. I believe it is going to be their fault because they have agency. Now, it may be difficult, and I'm not saying that's not hard, and I have sympathy with anybody who's overweight who can't get rid of it, but they're the only people who can do it. It's all very well the government saying, oh, we'll tax this and we'll stop people selling that, we won't have advertising for this, but ultimately people have got to grow up and actually look themselves in the mirror and say, the only person who's responsible for this is me, and the only person who's going to be able to get me out of this is me. Once you've made that decision, I think you're on the big first step towards success. And I don't buy the argument that good food costs more. It may be that it costs, if you compare a TV dinner with a load of vegetables, but what you just said then is about it's not filled you up, so you're buying up more of the crap, and you end up spending double because you're just not eating good food to begin with, which will keep you going, and you won't need to snack.
Yes, I think you've got to wait for that, because I've tried in the past and I've done it for 3 or 4 weeks and then I've gone back to the old ways. But something with
why did you go back to the old ways?
Because I wasn't really
ready, committed. And
to be honest, and I don't think I've ever said this, I was in this weird, bizarre way. I was afraid to change fully because I would have highlighted to myself how I would have done, how I'd wasted the last 5 or 10 years, if that makes sense.
No, that does make sense. This is why I often talk about one's future self, because your future self, if you make an action today, your future self is going to judge you on that action that you take. Not if you just trip on a curb or something.
For me, it was the COVID situation. When that first started, I was quite shocked to see that obesity was number 2. That if you were obese, and technically I'm obese on the chart. I'm 34 when I should be below 30, and since my brain has completely flipped the other way, the weight has started to fall off, and I'm starting to see the benefit. But it was a hell of a switch to flick that I tried several times over possibly 15 years, but just didn't want to do it for some bizarre reason. But that's a whole psychological.
Yes, Linda Kane is quite right. The information on healthy eating is out there for anyone to find. It's the same with any bad habit that people have. You've got to recognise you've got a bad habit. I used to buy a bar of chocolate every time I filled up with petrol when I used to do the extra work. And I would go off and I'd be a background policeman on the bill, on the Thames Television, the bill. And every time I filled up with, which was like 2 or 3 times a week, I'd do this journey, go up to South London, and I would munch on on a thing every time. I just felt, that's fine. And in time, I realised I was getting a bit podgy. And I thought...
that's what I used to do. I used to go into central London to film. And because you're running all over the place, I used to think, right, well, to have a McDonald's at 11:30 in the night, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So you build up these bad habits, and they're difficult to break, just like smoking, for example, is a difficult habit to break. But if you can face yourself in the mirror and say, I am gonna do something about this, and own the problem, your future self a month on, 6 months on, a year on, will be going, my God, thank goodness, well done, my previous self, for making that decision. It may have been hell, but look at me now. And
yes, I think I got caught up in this, so much information. You read so many books, got so much information, you don't know where to start. And what I did in the end, which I've seen the results of, I just ate less food. I ate better food at the same time every day, and I've just got off my arse.
Well done. Well done.
And it's just fallen off.
It is hard, but it's doable, and people can do it, and they've just got to have that faith and the commitment, as you said.
Yeah.
Turbo
But
Streams.
thanks for a fantastic show, and send me an email about where you got those biscuits from.
They were a gift.
Soon.
They were a gift. Yeah, you can't have them. They were a gift, actually. So I'll eat them, but I won't eat them in one go. I mean, they're going to be on special occasions.
Now, this is the thing that I would have done. But you would have come off air now, and by 12 o'clock, I would have eaten the whole thing.
Well, I can guarantee that I will be throwing the beer away, which I know will be a waste to some people, but I know that's full of sugar.
Yeah.
I won't be able to eat the rest of this because I've now made myself feel incredibly guilty, so I won't eat that. And
I used to find that I used to have this thing where I'd eat 2 or 3 biscuits, and my brain would sort of switch off, and without realising, the whole packet would have been gone in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I would have had that guilt.
The biggest key, I used to buy biscuits all the time, and I rarely buy them now. When I go shopping, I have developed a skinflint mentality, because I will often say to myself, and Jeff Kellison will know this because he's told me what a skinflint I am, but I will go, can I survive without this? Of course I can. So I don't buy things. So and maybe I'm a bit extreme on that. I bought a packet of biscuits to take with me when I went to Wiltshire. For the 4 days, because I knew Glastonbury Gabriel was coming. I thought it'd be rude if I can't offer him a biscuit. Packet of cookies. Oh, I can't go and get them because they're buried at the moment in my food box. And I said, do you want a biscuit? And I hadn't opened them. And when he came on Tuesday, I said, would you like a biscuit? He said, no, I'm all right, thanks. So I said, oh, okay. I didn't particularly want a biscuit, but I would have had one with him. I didn't open that packet. It's come back with me. It's sat in there. It's not been opened. I don't... I tend sometimes I'll buy it. Sometimes there are occasions, and I'm not going to lie, there are occasions when I do need a little bit of sugar. And I just go, oh my God. But I'm in control of that, as opposed to it's just something I do. I must have a bar of chocolate, or I must have a...
Well, this is what I'm doing at the moment, is when you go into a shop and you see a bar of chocolate,
just don't buy them.
I've sort of... because... when you start to change your food, I think you also fall into this trap of, right, well, I've had a bar of chocolate at 2:30, right, I'll start again tomorrow morning. But now I'm sort of looking at the bar of chocolate and I'm going, I don't want to start again, so I'm not going to have it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm finding that's a lot easier now, just to walk into a shop, get what I want to get, and come out again.
Stay focused. Don't buy those things. You don't need them. If you don't need them, don't buy them. I mean, that's the thing. We're not magpies. We don't need every shiny little thing, and that's the way to go. Anyway, better end this.
The one thing that we do need is the Vobes show.
We need the Vobes show. Thank you very much.
That's a good place to end it on.
Absolutely. Well done, Sean. Thank you so much for calling. Bye-bye. Bye. There we go. We need the Vobes show. Very quickly, there was a couple of people says Richard looks better over the last... Oh, yeah. The Turbo Stream says, I thank my previous self for making the change 4 years ago. I lost 2 stone, started to exercise more, and I'm fitter at 51 than I was at 21. There you go. You just got to make the commitment, and do something about it. You've just got to say, I'm not going to drink these drinks or eat these chocolates or biscuits or whatever it is. Jeff Kellison says it was the steroids he took trying to save his eye. If you want to see what I look like overweight, just put it into YouTube, Vobes Exeter. If you put the 2 words into Vobes Exeter, up will come a video that I made in 2010, I think it was. So 10 years ago. And I was fighting for my eye before I lost it. And I was on steroids. I can't remember the name of the sodding things. Presna something or other. And they were, because I was having cataracts. Not cataracts. What do you call them? Oh, I've had three. What do you call the things on the front of your eye? Not cataracts. I can't remember the bloody thing. I've had three replacement. The thing on the, yes, Presna. That's the one. What's the name of the? I had 3 transplants of the sodding things. I can't even remember what they're called now. On the front of your eye. And terrible situation. And this no, not the lens. What's it called? On the front end, I know exactly this. I know all about the bloody eye. I need to have more sugar. Cornea. That's right. Thank you. Cornea. Yes, I've had when I was losing my eye, and I had this bug in there. It was eating the cornea of my eye. It wouldn't go, and they gave me some hexachloridine. Hexachloridine it was, and hexachloridine, as the name suggests, is chlorine, but it's a very weakened version of chlorine because you can't have too much chlorine shoved in your eye, or you'll damage your eye and go blind. But a certain amount of that will kill the bug, Acanthamoebus cariatus, and a certain amount of that was not enough, so the bug didn't die. And I couldn't put they gave me a bloody strong amount, which was a killer in the eye because it really stang, but it didn't kill the bug. And eventually this bug damaged the cornea, so I had to have a transplant, put that on. They gave me the Prepsi, what's the name? And then the first cornea, the stitches came undone, and the cornea, I just remembered, the cornea started to unpeel from my eye, and I had to have an emergency. I had to whiz straight up to Moorfields. I remember that. Crikey. And they looked at one look and they said, crikey, stop everything, get him in. And because it was, and no wonder I was in agony. The cornea was just peeling off the eyeball. Well, if you've ever had a bit of dust or something in your eye, and you know how sensitive that is, well, that when the cornea is coming off, oh God. Anyway, so I had 2 more corneas after that, which just again didn't take. These are human tissue that's been donated. So I've wasted 3 people's corneas, dead people's generally, didn't work. And in the end, I had this problem, and it went on for 9 weeks, where I was in absolute agony for 9 weeks. It was dreadful, and I begged them to remove the eye, and they did. But at the time, in 2010, I was on this Presnosla, whatever it's called, and I was like a bloody balloon. Look, I'll find it. I'll show you. We've gone over time now, so what the hell? Just very quickly, you can disappear if you so wish. Exeter. What I can't do is play the music, because the music will make this not have any. Here we go. Oh my God. Oh my God. I haven't looked at this for ages. Hang on. This is fudge cakes. That's me. That is the result. Oh my God. That is the result of steroids. I've got the same glasses. Is there some more? Let's see if I can. Also, you might not believe that's me. I'll just see if I can play a bit.
It isn't long enough. There's just so much to see.
That's my voice. Hang on. I just want to try and find a bit where it's got no music in because I don't want the tube of views to. Let's try that bit.
Now, it's interesting because there's a lot that's missing. A lot of the gates, for example, fabulous. Tony Lethbridge, who's informed me a hell of a lot more. And of course, just wandering around when there's not so many tourists here.
That is me. Isn't that shocking? Isn't that shocking? Yes, my voice is slightly different. I mean, it's got my same timbre. Is that the right word? I absolutely hated it. I hated myself when I looked like that. I mean, the thing is, you don't know. You don't know. You could feel this restriction in your throat, is what I felt. And so I knew my voice was bad. That was the worst it got. There's another video I've done at the beginning of this, before the Presnosna, whatever it's called History You Can Touch. And if you put Vobes, History You Can Touch, you'll get another video of me. And I had dark glasses on, the same glasses, but they were darkened. And, oh my God, that is, I cannot believe. And people sometimes watch that video and they say the nicest things. It's scary. So that's what steroids does. But that was different because when I got off the steroids, I lost the weight. I didn't have to stop eating. It wasn't the eating. That's water. It's cushioned. I was like the Michelin Man. It was just cushioned in water. It was awful. You look the picture of health these days, Richard. Long may it continue. Thank you very much. Nice jacket. Now, that's inspirational. Were you slim before that? Yes, I was slim, but not as slim as I am now. I did do a little bodybuilding because I used to entertain and in the corporate world doing fire eating and lying on beds of nails, and I'd have to strip down. So I was not ripped. I was never ripped, but I did do a bit of that. So I was bigger in terms of muscles, and I did go to a gym. I was never a proper bodybuilder, but I was just enough so that I didn't feel embarrassed to take my top off. Even your hands were puffy. Yeah, everything. Well, it wraps you up in this cotton wool of water stuff. I didn't recognise you there. I'm normally in control, but when I met the sticky toffee pudding with a dollop of gin, I know I felt ill after that. Jump to 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Oh yeah, well that's pretty much the same, isn't it? You can't beat a bit of gore on Friday. Anyway, thank you for that. What? That can't be you. Yeah, it would never. You'd never think it was the same person. I know. It is. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you very much. It is gruesome, but it's your, and this message, I just believe this 100%. You've got to think about your future self. Your future self is tomorrow. It's not like some far off time. It's tomorrow and next week and the week after. And you know, if you want to lose weight or stop smoking or go running more or achieve whatever goal it is, you've got to start, and you've got to be serious and go for it, because your future self, even if that's the following day, can pat you on the back and go, thank God you started. You haven't had a chocolate bar today. Well, you know, you've broken the mold, and you can just keep monitoring yourself. It's not easy. Of course it's not easy. But the future self of a year or 5 years or 10 years, where if you don't do what you need to do, you might be having serious health issues, diabetes, lung cancers, whatever, skin falling off, whatever it is. your future self will be you, because you will get to your future self, and that's the place you want to be going. Look at me now, thank God. So and I'm not religious, but you'll be just saying, thank goodness I made that decision. And you can't put your head in the sand. Anyway, sorry, all a bit preachy, and I didn't mean it to be that. But thank you so much for watching. It's been an interesting show as ever. Some shows better than others. But there we go. Thank you for all the calls. Thank you, lovely Julia, for making sure we don't have any problems. Ringer Ollie there, feeling a bit oozy now. There you go, Ringer Ollie. Look after yourselves. Take it easy. Cut out some of the sugar. Go on, you can. And maybe not drink that extra glass of wine. And have a happy life. Entirely up to you. Anyway, it's been lovely to share this time with you, as ever. And as ever, I keep saying as ever. And I will catch up with you on Monday. By the way, on Monday, 4 o'clock, we will have our new reading. 4 o'clock, The Wisdom of the Fields by H.J. Massingham will be live on the Bald Explorer channel, and there'll be another another Vobe show in the evening. Have a great weekend. Don't burn up, and I will see you then. Till next time, bye-bye, everybody. I've got to work out how to turn this off again now. I haven't been around for a while. Oh, yes, there we go. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.